The three men never heard their killer approach. The gunman padded softly upstairs, where a crack of light cut across the carpet from a room on the first-floor landing. His targets were seated at a plain wooden table. All had cigarettes on the go, creating a pall of smoke which wreathed an unshaded bulb hanging from the ceiling. One of the trio, a muscular individual in his mid-40s, took a pack of cards from the table and glanced at the others. "My turn to deal, I think," he said. "Right," replied the sallow-faced man on his left. He smiled and added, "No flipping from the bottom now, Rab." The man shot him an indignant look. "When have you ever caught me cheating?" This caused the third player, a man with bushy eyebrows, to snort loudly. He nudged his pale-faced companion and said, "Aye, that's the thing, eh, Billy? Not been caught yet, has he?" Rab gave him an icy stare. "Tom," he said, "if I thought for a minute you were serious." The assassin, now standing immediately outside the room, reached into his jacket and retrieved a Beretta M9 from a shoulder holster. He threaded a suppressor silently onto the muzzle and made ready. Inside, as Rab began to deal, Tam extended his hands in a mollifying gesture. "Come on, Rab," he said. "You know I was only kidding." A few seconds passed. "By the way, you remember Alfie White, the scam artist? Now, he was one to watch. One time at a poker game in Gorgie, he had the entire deck marked. Way he worked it was." Tam was shocked into silence by the door, which suddenly flew open. A moment later the shooter entered, took aim, and fired twice. His first bullet hit the dealer, who dropped to the floor, blood spurting from a carotid artery. Tam was the next man targeted. The bullet connected a few millimeters above the bridge of his nose, and he too collapsed, blood and brain matter pooling onto the parquet from a hole in his forehead. The man called Billy looked aghast as he saw the Beretta's muzzle was pointed at him. "No, no," he sputtered. "For Christ's sake, please!" The gunman regarded him dispassionately, then nodded to an empty chair at the head of the table. "Lecky," he said. "Your boss, where is he?" "Shug?" Shug, where is he?" Falkirk." "Falkirk?" "Aye. He had to pull out at the last minute. His mother had a stroke. She's been taken to hospital." Billy gave his questioner a beseeching look and added, "Listen, pal, I'm only his caretaker. I think you're making a mist—" There was a dull thunk as the Beretta was triggered a third time, and moments later Billy lay prostrate alongside his companions. His executioner walked slowly around the table, making sure all three of his victims were dead, and came upon the empty chair. "Bastard," he said, giving it a kick that sent it spinning across the room. "Damn bastard." "So Olivia alighted the last tram at the National Gallery at 11:20 on Friday 14th April, Marcus Ledbetter was asking. "The onboard CCTV confirms this." Ledbetter, a tall man in late middle age, had a patrician look and spoke in an authoritarian manner.